Just Robert Spetta here with you. We are heading into the 29th of November 2019, and now Typhoon Kammuri continuing to linger here towards the east of the Philippines. It does have some dry air and shear interacting with it from the north, and this is kind of keeping its intensity at bay here. But eventually that shear is going to let off. This is going to start to work on a westerly track, and you can take a look at these intensity numbers from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, upwards of 125 to 120 knots. Some of the numerical guidance does show it even stronger. I do really think that there is a likelihood of a super typhoon developing here towards the east of the Philippines. So at least at this time, I'll just start off this update by saying the storm is over 1,000 miles towards your east at this time. The likelihood of this impacting the eastern seaboard of Luzon, and more specifically the central and southern areas of Luzon, continues to remain high at this time. You really want to prepare, especially for those who live along the immediate coastline here, for that threat of evacuation. A lot of these bays and inlets are prone to storm surge as well, so these are all things that could potentially take place as this storm nears, as we go ahead and through Monday into Tuesday and over through Wednesday. For example, this is my Tuesday midday, and you start to get that wraparound effect, and this is what I'm talking about here. This is actually the ECMWF model. The GFS is very similar, but a lot of these bays and inlets, when you get that water flow pushing onshore, that's when we're talking about that threat of storm surge in these areas from Lopez to Diet. Cameron, of course, is going to be impacted by this, and eventually this very well could move across Luzon over there towards Manila, but the hardest impacts being here along the eastern. But not only the winds and the storm surge are going to be a major issue here, let's look ahead as this comes on shore. See these areas in darker purples? That is indicating upwards of 300 to 400 millimeters of precipitation. So at least at this time, the numerical guidance is showing the threat of storm surge. We're showing the threat of damaging winds, and also just catastrophic rainfall, which could result in some severe flooding, especially along these eastern coastlines. So again, yeah, there's a lot of things taking place here, a lot of impacts potentially, and I usually go through and I analyze what I'm thinking is going to take place, but I really want to start off this update letting you know that this is a dangerous storm system, and the facts are coming together. This high pressure ridge, as you can see here from this analysis from the Thailand Meteorological Department, shows that high pressure coming in. Our lows so far south that it's just going to bump into this and eventually just jet off on a westerly projection with the overall background flow, and that's why the forecast looks the way it does at this time. Not only from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, but all the agencies. In fact, this is Pagasa there in the white JMA and the orange JTWC and the purple KMA and the kind of the greenish yellow there in CWB as well in the green. And just look at this. It goes up and straight west. Every agency is in 100% agreement with this. There is no longer any chance that this will recurve. It was going to move on a due west projection, likely into the Bacol region. In Metro Manila, you're likely going to be impacted basically from Legazpi north. Heavy rainfall, storm surge as well, and of course, damaging winds. I mean, at this point, like I said, this is showing you, by the way, this is about Monday night into Tuesday. This is going to be some of the hardest hit areas, especially if this takes place. These bays really going to be taking the brunt of that storm surge effect if this particular outlook comes through, which I really think it is a really good possibility that is possible there, and eventually over towards Southern Luzon. And we could even see, if this takes place by Tuesday afternoon, we could see a little bit of storm surge over towards Manila Bay. We're talking about Roxas Boulevard. You know how that always floods there along the coast. We get that water kind of surging up the bay. That could result in some flooding too on the backside of this, as well as not to mention the rainfall. So of course, everybody's curious about the East Asian Games, Southeast Asian Games, which start on the 30th. This of course would have a significant impact once this moves through. I mean, it's not if at this point. Once it does move through, it will have an impact, if not only with the winds, but of course also the rainfall as well. So with that said, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please post them down in the comment box below. I'm thinking about doing a live video. I'll let you know. Just check out my Facebook and Twitter and all that. I'll let you know when I'm gonna do that. Probably about 12, 24 hours from now. I'll get something together. And let you guys know. It's really I want to have a time period where I can field questions from to directly. So I just got to make sure my live broadcasting software works correctly. For now, just keep updating these YouTube videos as well as videos and post on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube as well. All right, stay safe out there.